what this study was done was basically to show that you could dose insulin off of the values from a continuous glucose monitor. And so we compared patients who were dosing off of finger sticks and compared it to patients who were dosing off the continuous monitor. Now, this may sound simple, but it actually was very hard to do because we had to have patients who were willing to wear the continuous glucose monitor. All of them were open to seeing the data, but some of them dosed off of it, and some of them had to do a finger stick every time they ate or gave an insulin dose. So we worked really hard to get patients in this trial who were both adherent and who didn't have a lot of issues with hypoglycemia. They couldn't have hypoglycemia awareness or have severe hypoglycemia because we wanted safety, and we wanted a group of people where we could just compare whether it worked. And so we had patients, I believe it was approximately 226 patients, and they were randomized 2-to-1. So more of them were on just continuous glucose monitoring alone compared to those on the finger sticks. And what was amazing is there was zero difference. And we believed this, but we needed to prove it. And we used the Dexcom G4, but it had enhanced algorithms. But this was a pretty good study in that it used a slightly older technology now, but with the newer algorithms. And there was no increase in hypoglycemia, time in range. And time in range of blood sugar between 70 and 180 was the primary outcome for the study. So we basically proved that you can dose off the CGM. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have to calibrate. So with the Dexcom, you need to calibrate twice a day, and you still have to do those calibrations. But in between, patients can dose off of the CGM. However, we always have all of these caveats. So if somebody thinks their blood sugar is low and their CGM isn't reading low, finger stick. If somebody the same way thinks they're high but it's not high, they should always test. Within the first 12 hours of putting in a new sensor, it's not as accurate. So in the first 12 hours of use, people may need to do more finger sticks. So there's a variety of caveats, but nonetheless, this finding was part of the data set that went to the FDA, who was basically willing to approve use of continuous glucose monitoring as strip replacement. So they now call it therapeutic CGM, which means it can replace finger sticks except the calibration finger sticks. But the only sensor that's been approved this way is the Dexcom G5. And so because we have the data that shows it's useful and safe, that's now been approved. And now because of that, the CMS for Medicare has now approved use of therapeutic CGM for seniors.